Recording in progress.
Firstly, we will do about the viruses. What do you know about viruses? Anything you know about virus? What is a virus?
That it can go from one person to another, it can spread.
Yes. And just like, there are viruses in computer, we usually use this term that there is virus in this laptop or there is virus in this USB. That means that is a thing which is being spread from one object to the other or from one organism to the other. Because this,
Another one.
it simply tells us that viruses are viral in nature. These type of diseases can, what is the meaning of viral, like viral diseases?
That it spreads like anybody to
Yeah,
anybody
like for example,
easily.
if someone is suffering from any viral disease and he start to sneezing, so the person near him will also get there are more chances that the person near him will also get that viral disease. So these viruses, when one person is infected, if he start to sneeze or if he is breathing from his mouth or from his nasal cavity, those viruses can come into the air. Okay. And when there is another person standing over there near to him, so that person has more chances to get that viral disease. That's why we say this is a viral disease. In this, you don't need physical contact. Okay. It is not needed. Like, for example, if someone is ill by a viral disease and you handshake it, it is not necessary. Even if you don't handshake with the person, you are standing and you are just chatting with the person. Okay, you are just talking to him, and he started to sneezing or he's breathing near you. So what will happen? The viral infection which is present in his body will be in air. The particles will be air in the air, the viral particles, and they can be in your body. Okay. So these are known as some viral diseases, and they just like there are common examples of these are influenza virus and the colds. Wait a
Mm.
minute, what happened? Like for example, they have mentioned you have almost certainly had an illness caused by virus. Viruses cause common diseases such as colds, influenza, and also more serious ones such as AIDS. You know the colds. Colds mean in the summer, even in summer you feel cold. It happens when you are
Yeah.
suffering from extreme fever. Okay, and influenza is also such a type of disease. AIDS, AIDS is this is known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, the full form of AIDS is this, and this is the most common disease. It happens by using the same syringes or by the same medical instruments from one patient to another. That's why there is a concept of sterilization. You know the sterilization that when the doctors they don't use the same medical equipment uh, with other patient. Before that, they do the sterilization process. Sterilization means they clean it, okay, by different means, by
Mm-hmm.
chemical means or by biological means. So by those means, what they do the sterilization, and by sterilization, this process kills all the germs present on the medical equipments. Okay, for example, there are two patients, and this was the patient one. They maybe this person has a disease, okay, and right after this person, maybe this person has AIDS, okay, and right after his treatment, the doctor has to check the other patient, okay, the second one. So they cannot use the same instruments, the same surgical instruments to this patient, okay, in this patient. It is not a good way and it is not acceptable. What they do, the medical instruments in the which are used in the surgical room of the patient one's checkup, in the patient one treatment, they will sterile it. Okay, let me show you what how sterilization occurs. So sterilization basically means to kill the germs present on the medical equipment.
Yes.
There are yeah these are some machines, okay, and this they have some high energy UV rays or some high energy rays. Those rays, if on this Caesar or on this instrument any germ is present, that will be killed. Okay, after treatment of the patient once, what they do, the doctors, they put all the instruments in those machines, in these sterilization machines. Okay, firstly, the simple one is they go for steam sterilization. So they provide steam at very high temperature, and due to that steam, all the germs present on these will be killed. You know why this process is necessary before doing operation of
Mm.
any other patient?
So like no, so like no germs gets inside to their body while
Yes,
it's
exactly.
happening.
Because if there is some germs present in the body of person
It's
A,
spread.
so yeah, that can spread out if they don't go for the sterilization process. Even if, you know, in the surgical in the surgical unit, in the operational unit, they all, the doctors and nurses, they all are wearing gloves. Okay, they all follow the proper protocols. They all have some proper
Mm.
clothing. Why is this so? To
Mm.
avoid all the germs in that room. Okay, that's why this process is very much important. These all, there are many machines. They
Mm.
go for the sterilization process by very different means. The most common one is stream sterilization. Clear? Are you clear with
Yeah.
this? Okay. So yes, we were discussing this. That virus is also,
Yes.
you know, this AIDS is more common in the places where the people are the people are not, uh, you can say, they don't know about many things like the slum areas, the people who live in the slum areas. So what they do, they share things. They share the different things with each other. So they don't know whether the person is having a disease or not. I'm talking about very poor people who are living in the slum areas. They don't know about many things. And the AIDS also, it is also transferred from
Mm.
using the same medical equipments from one patient to another without going for steam sterilization first. Okay, just like, you know, like two brothers are sharing the same shaving kit. Okay, the same shaving kit. So it
Mm.
is not a good way. It is not
Yeah.
a good practice to share the same thing with your brother. Why? Because it can give you a disease. It can cause disease in you. So even on the barber shops, it is advisable for the barbers to clean their all the kit before using it to any of their client. Okay. Otherwise, these diseases are
Mm.
spread out. Okay. And one more thing, how these diseases can also spread out, just like can these be transferred if you go for, if you go on a local juice shop? Have you
Yeah.
visited? In the local juice shop,
I went.
they don't use disposable, like in Pakistan. I have seen many that they don't use
Yeah.
disposable kits. They don't have disposable glasses. They have
Yeah.
steel glasses made up of steel or made up of glass. So what they do, they like, if I take the juice afterwards, they will just randomly wash the glass and then give to the other person the juice in there to the other person. So this is one of the means of getting these diseases. So if you are getting anything like that from the outside, then you must go with your own glass or mug. But it is more advisable to make juices in the home. Otherwise, if you know that the restaurant is following the proper protocol, then you can go for it. Otherwise, avoid it, because these diseases are more common in the areas where people do these things, where
Mm.
people not focus on the cleanliness, they don't focus on the sterilization processes, and they just randomly selling the things. Okay.
Mm.
Viruses are not normally considered to be alive. Yeah, this is very important. Now why they have this separate category? You see, viruses are not in any group. How many groups we have studied? Kingdoms. How many kingdoms we have studied?
Yeah. Five.
What are those?
the five kingdoms are kingdom Animalia.
Yes.
No, first kingdom Monera, then Protista,
From the
then
simplest, well,
fungi,
yes, yes. Kingdom
then
Monera, Kingdom
kingdom
Protocista.
Plante,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yes,
and then kingdom fungi, kingdom Plante, and then
yes,
kingdom Animalia.
yes. But in these, viruses are not placed in these groups. Why? Because they are not considered as alive. Now the question arises, if they are not alive, then why we are considering them as organism? Like we have a definition for organism, right? The organisms are alive.
Mm,
So why we say that
yeah.
viruses are even why we consider them alive? So the answer to this is that if they are independently present, if any virus is independently present in the environment, in the air, this virus is inactive. Okay, this virus is inactive, and this virus is not alive. You can say. But
Yes.
when this virus enter into the body of a person, of a of an alive person, so what will happen? This virus will take the advantage from the immunity of this person, and it will be alive in the body. Okay, so we say
Mm,
that viruses are not normally considered to be alive, because normally if you see in the air or in the environment, they are inactive. They cannot harm
yeah.
anyone, like in they cannot do anything. But when they attack on, when they are in the person's body, in that person's body, they become alive because they are using the cellular machinery of that particular person. Okay, are you getting this?
Yes.
That's why we say that
Yeah.
viruses are not normally considered to be alive, because they cannot do anything other than just exist. Okay, they are just existing. And they're not doing anything until they
Mm,
get inside a living cell. Until they get inside a living cell. Clear?
living
This
cell.
is the most
Yeah.
simplest definition of virus. So what we say, viruses are generally not considered as alive, but they they cannot do anything. Why they are not considered as alive? Because they cannot do anything. They are just existing. But they will
Mhm.
be considered
Yeah.
alive when they will be present in living
Uh, like living. Yeah.
in the living cell. Okay.
Not unalive people. Like living people. Yeah.
Yes. They can take over the cell, what they mentioned, that they can take over the cellular machinery, cell machinery, to make multiple copies of themselves. Yeah, this is very important. You know, once they get into the body of a person or any other organism from the five kingdoms, what they do, these viruses, they start to multiply. They start to multiply, and in that process,
Mm,
we get disease. You know, we say that the person is having chills even in summer, or the person is suffering from the influenza. Why it happens? Because that influenza virus,
yeah.
when it enters in that person's body, what will happen? That influenza virus will start to multiply. Okay, and in that multiplication process, it is affecting our immune response. That is why the person become ill.
Yeah.
Okay, one more time, what I'm saying is that when virus enters the human body or any other organism body, it will attack on the cellular machinery of that person. Okay, and in return, what is happening?
Yeah.
The virus is multiplying. Okay, virus is multiplying.
Mhm.
Its multiplication will start,
Of time.
and due to this multiplication, the immune system will become weak. Immune system of the person will become
Yeah.
weak,
Will become.
and that person will get a disease. Clear? Will get that particular disease. For
Yeah.
example, if the influenza virus enter, what will happen?
But
There will be influenza.
like
Yeah, influenza will,
yeah.
firstly, it will attack on the cellular machinery, and it will
Hmm.
start to multiply in that person, and in when it will be multiplied, there will be a large number of influenza virus in that person's body, and ultimately that person's immune system will become weak, and he will get a disease. Clear? Are you clear with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Then now moving on to the next study, they mentioned these new viruses burst out of the cell and invade others where the process is repeated. Now what they're saying that these new viruses burst out of the cell and invade others. Initially, what they do, like for example, this virus, I told you that it attack on the cellular machinery.
Mhm.
It attack on the cellular machinery. What will happen? For example, there is a cell. This is a cell. In this virus had made many copies, right? So it will, the cell will burst, okay? The cell will burst and this virus will spread out in the blood of that particular organism. Are you getting my point? Viruses are microorganisms, okay? And when they
Yeah.
enter in our body, they attack
Yes,
on the
yes.
cell, and in the cell, they make many copies. When they make many copies, the cell will burst, and all the infectious particles of that virus will be in our blood, and they will spread out. Here, this they have mentioned over here that these new these new viruses
Yeah.
burst out of the cell and invade others where the process is repeated. Clear? Are you getting this?
Yes.
And they have mentioned that the host cell will be killed in this
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
The host cell will be killed because you know how the host cell will. What is
Give me
host?
1 minute. Only 1 minute.
Okay, okay.
Just give me. Just give me like.
Recording in progress.
Yes. I was telling you about the host cell that when the virus attack on the host cell, what will happen first? That virus will make its copy in the host cell. Okay, it will make its copies in the host cell, and when there are many copies in the host cell, that host cell will be burst. And what is host cell? Host mean that person who is getting the disease. This person is a host. Just like I told you the example of termite in the wood. So termite is what? Termite is,
Then it spreads around.
yes, termite is insect, and it is attacking on the wood. So the wood is host. Okay, host is that body which is getting disease, and it is giving benefit to this. Okay, so you see this host, what is happening? This is giving benefit to the virus. How it is giving benefit to the virus?
Um,
Because
mm,
virus can
uh,
make its copies, isn't it? Virus
mhm.
can
Yeah.
make its copies in this person. That's why this person is a host. I gave you one example of parasite. That parasites are those organisms. This virus is a parasite, which get food or which get benefit from the other organism, and in return, the parasite harm this person. So isn't it the virus is getting benefit from this?
Yeah.
Okay, and in return, what virus is doing? It is providing this person a disease.
Mhm.
Are
Yeah.
you clear with this concept?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So this is what they have mentioned that these new viruses, firstly, we can start from here. The viruses are not normally considered to be alive because they cannot do anything other than just exist. They are just existing until they get
Mhm.
inside a living cell. They then take over the cell's machinery to take to make multiple copies of themselves. These new viruses, what they have mentioned now, that they then take over the cell's machinery. Which cell machinery they will take over?
Uh,
The host cell
the
machinery, or yeah, they will take the
host. Yeah.
host cell machinery to make the multiple copies. And after they have multiple
Yes.
copies, what will happen? The host cell will burst. Okay, the host cell will burst,
Yeah.
and the host cell will be killed in this process. So on their own, viruses cannot move. Okay, they cannot move. If you know if any virus is present on your table or on anything, it cannot move. That virus cannot move. Why it cannot move? Because we consider them as inactive. They are not alive, right? But In our body, they can activate and they can produce their copies. Okay, they can grow.
Yeah.
So this is what they have mentioned. On their own, viruses cannot move, they cannot feed, they cannot excrete, they cannot show sensitivity, grow, or reproduce. On their own, they cannot do these things on individual level. What they are doing, they can do these things within
Yeah.
the living body. That's why viruses are in another category. You don't put them in five kingdoms. Okay, clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yes. Then we have this figure. This is a picture of the virus. This is a picture of virus. This whole, and this is they have taken it on from the microscope, and it is drawn actually. But you know the viruses are very small. We cannot see them from the naked eye. You need a microscope, or you need a scanning electron microscope or tanning electron microscope. Okay, to check this
Mhm.
to see this. Okay, in this, what are the some important features? Firstly, in the center there is genetic material. Okay, there is this genetic
Mhm.
material, and this genetic material. Now, can you say this is a prokaryote or eukaryote? Can you say it? What can you say it? A
Um,
prokaryote or a eukaryote?
uh, Eukaryote
No, we cannot place virus in any category
because
because they are not alive, right? You cannot.
okay, yeah, there's
Mhm.
that.
You cannot place them in prokaryotic category or even in eukaryotic category because they are not alive.
Mhm.
Simply over here, what we can say is that in virus there is RNA. Okay, its genetic material is made up of RNA. Okay, basically,
Mhm.
the genetic material is of two types. What are two types? DNA.
DNA
Yes, yes, and
and what's it called?
RNA.
Like the yeah RNA.
RNA. Okay. So in some organism there is DNA, in some there is RNA, in some there is the DNA and RNA both are present in the nucleus. I am not talking about the whole
Mhm.
organism. I'm talking about the nucleus. Nucleus. In nucleus of some organism there is DNA, or in some there is RNA, and there are some organism in which DNA and RNA both are present. So in this, in
Mhm.
the virus, the genetic material is RNA. Okay. Outside this, these green beads, you see the green beads, and these green beads are what? These are known as protein coat. Okay, this is the protein coat
Yeah.
of the virus because this is made up of protein.
Yeah.
That's why we say it a protein coat. Clear? Are you clear with this?
Yeah.
Okay, it is not made of a cell. First thing, this thing. But they mentioned that it is not made of a cell. It is simply a piece of DNA or RNA. Okay, surrounded by a protein coat. Okay, clear? That there is just simple,
Yeah.
you cannot say it as cell. It is just simple RNA or a DNA, but in this case there is RNA, and it is covered with a protein coat. Okay, this there is protein coat. This one.
Mhm.
These are smaller molecules of the protein, amino acids. Clear?
Yeah.
It is hugely magnified in this diagram. You see, it is hugely magnified.
Yeah.
Even this dot, in this dot, you see this dot. If I see this dot, this in the microscope, there can hundreds of thousands viruses can fit in this dot. They are too small.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we have this magnified image. Okay.
Mhm.
Now this scale bar is indeed 10 nanometer. You don't need to remember this. Just remember that simply. No, we can do this because we will do it. Have you discussed the prefixes in physics? The nanometer, picometer,
Uh,
kilometer.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is nanometer? Nanometer means 10 raised to power minus 9.
Yeah.
Okay. So what they are saying that this is taken on 10 nanometer scale. 10 nanometer means that you multiply 10 with 10 raised to power minus 9.
Months.
It means it will be
Yeah.
0.000000000.
Zeros. Yeah.
1,
All
2,
done.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, this one. It is this much small. this virus is this much small. Clear?
Yeah.
So, in other words, you could line up more than 15,000 of these viruses between two of the millimeter marks on your ruler. If you see on your ruler, if you just mark 2 millimeter point, in that 2 millimeter line, you can fit 15,000 viruses. Okay, so this
Mm.
reflects how small a virus is. Okay, all the
Yeah.
organisms, all the microorganisms are very small because that's why they are known as microorganisms. Okay, just like the bacteria is too small, viruses are too small, you cannot see them. Even some
Mm.
fungi are also small, but fungi have some significant mass as well, just like mushrooms. We can see that, right? The mushrooms are they
Yeah.
have a bigger size, but there are few which are very small. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay. And this now they have mentioned why are viruses not generally considered to be living things? Yeah. Why? Why is this so?
Because they're dead.
We cannot say that they are dead. We will say
Uh,
what they have mentioned that outside the living body they cannot. You see what they have
move.
mentioned? They are not
They
considered
cannot
alive
move
because they
outside.
cannot. Yeah, they cannot do
Move
anything. Yes. Not just
outside
move.
the human body.
Not just move. They cannot do anything. They cannot do anything outside other than just exist. Because if you will say that
Yeah.
they are dead, so how they are making copies in a living body? The question arises if you are saying that viruses are dead, so then how they can make their copies in the living body? That's why we cannot say them alive or we cannot say them dead. Okay, they are in between. So we say that you will not write that they are in between. You will say that they cannot do anything outside a living body. Okay, they cannot do anything outside a living body, and they can make their copies in the living cell. They,
Yes.
they they just get activated in the living cell, and on their own, you can
Mm.
also mention this. On their own, the viruses cannot move, they cannot feed, they cannot excrete, they cannot show, they cannot
Yeah.
grow, they don't show any sensitive response to the temperature or any other thing. Okay, they cannot reproduce.
Mhm.
Where they cannot reproduce on
Yeah.
their own. On their own, they cannot do these things, but they can reproduce within the living body. Okay, they can reproduce
Yeah.
only within the living body. They can feed in
Yeah.
within the living body. They can excrete within the living
Yeah.
body. Clear? They
Yeah.
can move within the living body. So this is what we mentioned about the viruses. Okay. State one similarity and one difference between the cell of a fungus and the cell of a plant. Yes. What's that?
Cell of bacteria and cell of
No, cell of second question, 1.5.
fungus.
One similarity and one
Uh,
difference. What is one similarity
fungus
with?
has
Yes, fungus and plant.
like the plant is the cell wall is made out of cellulose
Yeah, first similarity will be that they both the fungus and plant cell is surrounded by cell
or
wall,
in a
right?
different group. Yeah.
This is similarity that they both have cell wall.
Yeah.
And what is the difference?
Yeah.
That the
They
fungus
have
cell wall will
different
be
material, different from plant because
chitin.
plant is cell.
Yeah,
So
the
yeah,
fungal cell
chitin
wall
and
is
fungus
made up
and
of chitin,
chitin
and the
and
plant
cellulose.
cell wall is made up of
Cellulose.
cellulose. Okay, so this is the difference. Basically, the
Yes.
we got the difference from the same point. Firstly, we'll say the similarity is that in both the organism there is cell wall, and but the cell wall in the plant it is made up of cellulose, and the
Mm.
cell wall of the fungi,
Chitin.
yeah, it is made up of
Chitin.
chitin. Now, can you tell me any other similarity or difference?
Uh, a fungus doesn't have a nucleus. Yeah.
No, why? They have nucleus. They are
No.
eukaryotic,
No.
isn't it?
Yeah. 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 Um.
You have to tell the plant, the similarity in plant and fungi, not in any other group. Just think about the plant and think about the fungi.
Mm, could be
Can fungi make their own food? Can they prepare their own food?
no.
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 Yes. And what about plants?
Yeah, they can because
Yes,
from
because they have
from the
chloroplast. They
photosynthesis.
have chloroplast in them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
one
they have chloroplast for photosynthesis.
photosynthesis. Okay.
Yeah.
And one similarity is that they both have vacuole, a central
Also,
vacuole.
both are
Sorry?
eukaryotes as well.
Yeah, both are eukaryotic as well. Okay. Now
Mm.
the third question: how do the cells of bacteria differ from the cells of plants and animals? How do the
That
cells of bacteria? Hmm.
um we could also say that, but we could also like bacteria. I don't know.
Firstly, you know what is bacteria? Bacteria belongs to a very simple group. Okay, the simplest one.
Yes.
So bacteria, it belongs to prokaryotes. Okay, bacteria is a prokaryote,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
What are prokaryotes?
It's like something
Hmm.
that can it prokaryotes are
What is the difference between prokaryote and eukaryote?
prokaryotes are simple and it has a true nucleus.
Prokaryotes don't have a true nucleus.
No,
They don't have.
eukaryotes have a
Yeah, eukaryotes
true
have a true
nucleus.
nucleus. So they lack a nucleus. They lack a true
Yes.
nucleus. So the bacteria is what?
Yeah.
Bacteria is prokaryotic, right?
Yeah.
This is one difference. While plants and animals are
Eu-
eukaryotic or
eu- uh,
prokaryotic?
eukaryotes.
Yes, they are.
So what's it called? They have a cell wall, but the cell wall material are different.
No, in
No,
plants,
no,
in
no.
animals there is no cell. You know the question. Read
Like
the question again.
the size are
They are
different. The
saying
size are
they are saying compare bacteria with plant and
yeah.
animal. You don't need to differ plant and animal. This is one group.
Mhm.
Now we are considering one group. So you will just mention those common properties which are present in plant and animal and compare that with
Bacteria
bacteria.
does bacteria doesn't have a true nucleus.
Yeah, so this is one difference. Okay, one more.
Yeah. It's like also the size. Yeah, the
Yeah,
size.
they're very small.
Bacteria are smaller than plants.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they are large. And also they are
Yes.
simple